All right, folks, listen. This is a live stream, and if you're new to the channel, first let me say that you need to go to the live section and watch the last 1 year of my live streams to get caught up with what my two predictions are, okay? And I'll tell you my predictions in a minute, but you are not going to grasp the magnitude of what I'm showing in my videos unless you watch 10, at least 10 of my live streams, because that's how difficult it is to, first of all, explain this incredible supernatural puzzle. Like I said, I'm basically explaining the unexplainable. All right. That's why you need to, be on fire for the truth and get to those live streams and watch at least 10, to get you to understand what my two predictions are. Okay. Now, what are my two predictions? I am telling you that on June 11th, you are going to see the biblical beast out of the sea event. And what is the biblical beast out of the sea? It it is connected to Elvis, because Elvis the is Satan. Elvis is literally Satan, and Trump is the image of Satan. Okay, so Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh. Okay, and Elvis is, like I said, the real devil. And on June 11th, in Washington State, you are going to see the biblical beast out of the sea event. And and according to the Bible, it says one of the heads of the beast seems to have had a deadly head wound that healed, and the world wondered after the beast whose head wound was healed. And what better beast to get that head wound than Trump? Because Trump compares himself to Elvis, because Elvis is the biblical beast out of the sea. So when is Trump going to get his head wound? On August 4th. Okay? And in this video, mainly it's about June 11th, the Washington State beast out of the sea event. But Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. Okay? And there's much more to the puzzle, but you got to watch the videos to understand. Anyway, so in this video, like I said, just uh, you know, listen to what I'm showing you. You don't have to remember everything. Just listen to what I'm saying, and you'll be able to pick up on what I'm showing. Okay. So let's get started. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. All right. So first, let me say Elvis. Listen to this. When you put the name Elvis with the word birthday, because basically what you're seeing here, because the words the Antichrist equals exactly the words Elvis birthday. Now, think about what I'm showing you here, because so they're telling you the birthday of Elvis was the Antichrist. Okay, that's what they're telling you right here. All right, the Antichrist equals exactly the words Elvis birthday. Every number is the same. All right, now you'll see why I'm showing all this in a moment. Look. So when you put Elvis the Antichrist, look at the numbers right here. What you're going to see here: 221, and then the reduced number is 86. Okay, and for the people who know what the 3 and 7, the 3 and 7 is the EL connection. It looks like an E and an L, which means God in Hebrew. See the EL, all right. And I showed you the VI means 6, and the S means more than one. So it's like he's the God of sixes. Okay, VI in Roman numerals is 6. But anyway, so Elvis is the God of sixes, but the 3 and 7 means EL, and the O is a crown and a portal. You know what I mean. Anyway, for the people, like I said, if you're new to the channel, you're not going to understand. So Elvis the Antichrist equals 221 and 86. Why am I showing this? You'll see. Is it just a coincidence that Elvis's age in 2021 is 86? Okay. 86, 221. He was 86 in 2021. If he was alive, I'm saying. He would have been 86 and 221. So basically they're saying 86 to 221, right? 22186, right? And why am I showing you that? Because from Elvis's birthday, to the death date within the same year, is 221 days. So you're telling me that that Elvis the Antichrist, which equals 22186, that in between Elvis's birthday and his death date is 221 days, and all these numbers that you're seeing are in that number here, Elvis the Antichrist. You have 22186. Look, it's all the same numbers, 22186, and it'll match every other number, 1881. It's all in that number, with the 22186. Okay. And like I said, Elvis's age was 86 and 221. Okay. 86 means to get rid of 221, and he supposedly died 221 days from his birthday when you add the day. Okay. And also in 2021, you had Super Bowl 55, Satan equals 55. All right. Now watch. Here's where we, go a little bit differently. Remember, it was 221 days in between Elvis's birthday and his death date. But how many months and days was it? It was 7 months, 9 days when you add the day. That's why it's 221 days, okay? And 7 months, 9 days is like the number 79 or 709 because it's a space in between. So you have a 7 and a 9. So it's like 709 or 79 or 97. Watch. So in between Elvis's birthday and 611 is 155 days. The 155th prime is 907. So you have a 9 and a 7, or 7 and a 9, right? And that's exactly how many the numbers between his birthday and his death date, 7997. And I told you the next, 611 is the day Washington State gets struck, right? So you have a 907 connection with the amount of days when you use the prime number, because prime numbers means something important, because prime means important. So obviously it's very important, these numbers. Okay. And I told you it's going to be the next Pearl Harbor also, because that's what this is basically going to be, the next 9/11 and the next Pearl Harbor. And Pearl Harbor, it was attacked on 12/7. The 127th prime number is 709. You see, the other one was 907, connecting to 611, and this is connecting to Pearl Harbor, and it's 709. See that? 907, 709. So it's like 79 or 97. And that's why when you look at the 797th prime, because 79 or 97, get it? It equals 6113. And I told you that 611 is when Washington State gets struck. And I told you guys that the 3 is like a crown. Okay? The 3 is the crown like this, and the letter O or a 0 is a crowning portal. Like, when the head comes through the womb, it's like it's called crowning, so that's why it's both a crown and a portal, the letter O or a 0. But the W is just a straight up crown, like Washington starts with a W. Okay, just keep watching. I'm just showing you all the connections to the birthday and to the death date and how it all connects. And so it's 221 days, right? Is it just a coincidence that in between Elvis's birthday to the date 221, which looks like the number is 221, is 44 days if you don't add the day, 45 days if you add the day. And you know, Trump, he's the 44th person and the 45th president. So he's the 44th person to become president, 45th president to take office, right? And I told you Trump's going to get his head one on 8/4, and Obama was the 44th president, and Obama was born on August 4th. That's why he had to be the president before Trump. Anyway, so in between Elvis's birthday and 221, which looks like the number 221, in between Elvis's birthday and Elvis's death, to 221 is 44 days, 45 days. Okay? And you'll see why it's all connected in a moment. But speaking of the 44-45, if you go from Elvis's birthday to 221, which I just said is 44, 45 days, if you add the day, from 221 to the day Trump gets his head wound on 8/4 is 165 days or 166 days if you add the day. And that's Trump's birthday. 6/14 is the 165th day, 166th day. You see? And I told you Trump is the 44-45 president. And we're connecting it to the 221, which connects to how many days was in between Elvis's birthday and his death day, which was 221 days. Okay? And then from there to August 4th, you see, because Trump is the 44-45 president. And you know 6/14, his birthday, 6 times 14 equals 84. Okay? Just a lot of connections there, you know what I mean? And remember, I was showing you the 44-45 because Trump is the 44-45 president. The square root of 44 is 6.6, and the square root of 45 is 6.7. And then when you put them together, the square root of 4445 is 66.67. So you have a 666 and a 67. And why is this important? Because see, the word twin equals 66. Elvis equals 67. So you have a twin, because Elvis was a twin, an identical twin, and his other identical twin was sacrificed at birth. So you have a twin number 66 and then 67. And the 9/11 happened between Elvis being 66 and 67 years old. 9/11 happened. It was 66 years, 8 months, 4 days exactly from Elvis's birth to 9/11. All right, so the 445 is very important, and that's why when you add 221 to 44.5, you see it? It's like 44.45. You add the 221, you get 666. See it? The 221. That's how many days in between Elvis's birthday and his death date. You see what I mean? And the 44.45. Are you getting that? Okay. I'm just going to take a quick break for a second here. I'm trying not to get upset because I know that it's not this exciting information, but it's showing you that there's a pattern to these numbers, and you'll see once I keep going, you'll understand. Okay, you'll understand the pattern that I'm showing. And remember, we were just talking about the 44-45. Give me a second here. Speaking of the 44-45, you know that MLK, Martin Luther King, he was assassinated on 4/4. But because it was a leap year, all right, let me just show you this real quick. That way you can understand. Because it was a leap year, it was, see, 4/4 normally is the 94th day, 4/5 is the 95th day. But because it was a leap year when MLK was killed, it connected to 94 and 95 because it became the 95th day if you add the day, 94 if you don't add the day. So because normally it would be the 4-5 day and the 95th day. So 4-4 landed on the 4-5 day because it was a leap year. So that means that you had the connection to 44-45. Do you understand? Okay, so when MLK died, there was a connection to 4445. That's all I want you to see, okay? Before I keep going here. Now, so where did MLK die? He died in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis lived and died. So the king had the king whacked because Elvis was known as the king, right? And you know, Seattle is in King County, okay? And you know, EL, it's an anagram, Seattle, for EL state. EL means God, like Elvis. And King County, Elvis is known as the king. Martin Luther King is now named after King County, okay? And let me just tell you this real quick. You know that Washington State was founded on 11/11, okay? 11/11 it was founded. When you use the fourth prime, because you know MLK was killed on 4/4. Fourth prime is 7. If you add the 7 and the 4 together, you get 11. So 4 becomes an 11, and then the 4 ends with an 11. 11/11, right? Just like Washington State, right? Okay, and so 4/4 and 11/11. Look at this. So from 4/4 to 11/11, when you don't add the day, is 221 days. But from 4/5 to 11/11 is 221 days exactly when you add the day. So remember, I told you the 44-45 connects to each other because of the leap year. So that's why 4/4 and 4/5 connect, which is what I was showing you with MLK and Trump being the 44-45 president, Obama being the 44th president, born on August 4th when Trump gets his head wound. So it connects to the 221, which connects to how many days in between Elvis's birthday, okay, and his death date, 221 days, and connects to Washington State, because Washington State is going to be destroyed, okay, on June 11th. Now, and like I said, if you think these are coincidences, you're crazy. Because look, from MLK's birthday to the day he died was 2 months, 21 days. That's exactly how many days in between Elvis's birthday and his death date. Not that, I'm sorry, the same numbers. It's 221 days in between Elvis's birth and his death. Okay? But it's the same numbers, 221, you see? All right? And interestingly enough, from 4/4 back to his birthday, it's 9 months, 11 days. Okay? And if you go back from MLK's death to Elvis's birthday, it's 9 months, 4 days, 9 months, 5 days, which is the day he was taken out, was the 94-95 day of the year, because it was a leap year. So it connects to 44 and 45. Get it? 4445. And that's why when Elvis died, he died on the 228th day of the year, 8/16. In between Elvis's birthday and 8/16 is 221 days, but the day he died, August 16th, is actually the 228th day of the year from the first of the year. And you think it's a coincidence from Elvis's birthday to MLK is 2 months, 28 days. See how it's all connected to this puzzle? All right. I just want to make sure that is there anyone who's not understanding this? Is there anyone who's not understanding this? And you know, Elvis, he did his comeback special the year MLK was killed. And on that same year, RFK was killed. And he was killed on 6/6. 4466. Get it? What's the 44 square root? 6.6. The square root of 44 is 6.6. So they had to have a 44 and a 66. The year, because it's connected. And that was the year that Elvis had his comeback special that same year. And and um, and I told you Seattle's King County is named after MLK. MLK was killed in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis the King lived and died. So the king had the king whacked. And Seattle's in King County. And the year Elvis died, there was a horse called Seattle Slew that won the Triple Crown on June 11th. A horse called Seattle Slew. And horse racing is known as the sport of kings. So you had another king connection. Seattle Slew. Slew means to violently kill. It's the past tense of slay. It won the Triple Crown, the most prestigious thing a horse can do in horse racing. All right. And he did it the same year Elvis died. All right. So again, folks, these cannot be coincidences. No way. All these connections. And remember the 4445, when you add the 221, you get 666. Okay? And I told you that's how many days was in between Elvis's birthday and his death date was 221 days. And it was 2 months, 21 days from MLK's birth to his death. From MLK's birth to his death was 2 months, 21 days. All right, so it had that connection too. All right. Okay, let me just take a quick break here. Are we still okay? Is the stream still moving? Is the stream still moving? All right, let's keep going. So remember I was showing you that, give me 1 second. So remember, it's 7 months, 9 days in between Elvis's birth and his death. Okay, 221 days or 7 months, 9 days. Okay, just remember that 7-9. So, what is this 7-9 thing? Before I show you what the connection is, real quick, remember I was telling you that Elvis the Antichrist equals 22186. 22186, and Elvis was 86 in the year 221, and 86 means to cancel, get rid of, right? So so it was 221 days in between Elvis's birthday in 816, and it was 7 months 9 days, and 221. I was trying to tell you it kind of has the connection to the 86 because it's saying get rid of the 221 and the connection to it, and it's 7 months 9 days, that 221. Okay, so what am I showing here? Why am I showing you this? The decade of the 70s, let me explain to you this connection. This decade is look, what's happening here. See, this is why I tell you guys it's like trying to explain the unexplainable. Okay, there's one number in here that equals the exact same as 79, and that's 75. So basically what it's doing is it's getting rid of the twin. Okay, because I told you Elvis had an identical twin that died at birth, and that's why the Twin Towers fell 66 years 8 months 4 days after Elvis was born, because the word twin equals 66. And he had an identical twin that was sacrificed at birth. So the 75 equals 79 in gematria, same numbers. Okay, And so if they got rid of 79 out of here, what would happen to the numbers? Let me show you what would happen. Okay. Let me just ask Google. That way you make it, that way you see I'm not just making stuff up. What is 70 plus 71 plus 72 plus 73 plus 74 plus 75 plus 76 plus 77 plus 78?
The answer is 666.
Okay, so everything between 70 and 78 is 666, okay? And so that means that they have to get rid of this 79. All right, you see how I put must be terminated. And that's why it was 7 months, 9 days in between Elvis's birth and his death. Okay, 7 months, 9 days, right? And do you think it's a coincidence that, let me just show this first. Was there widespread panic about the Space Needle collapse back in 1989 on April Fool's Day? See the words right there? It says, yes, there was widespread panic in Seattle area on April 1st, 1989, caused by a fake news report that the Space Needle had collapsed. And it was King County who was involved in this. All right. And it was on April 1st, 1989. Okay. Look at this. April 1st, 89. All right. See that prime number? The 79th prime number is 401. And that was the date they did the Space Needle prank. 79. You see what I was telling you about the 79? Terminate the 79. 7 months, 9 days in between Elvis's birthday and his death. 79. 79th prime is 401. See it? And they did the Space Needle prank back then. Okay? And I told you, you take out the 79, you terminate the 79. Why is my phone not focusing, man? Anyway, you take out the 79 because, you know, from Elvis's birthday to age 16 is 7 months, 9 days. You take out that 79, and I told you that 70 through 78, if you add up all the numbers, is 666. You take out the 79, right, in that decade, and you get 666. And that's why Trump, who is the image of Elvis, who is the beast out of the sea, and Trump is his image. You see, if Trump was elected in 70, and he became president when he was 70, and then he got elected again when he was 78, when he became president in 78, see? And 70, 78 is the 666. And you take out the 79 and you terminate the 79. Do you understand? Okay. And that's why it has to happen while Trump is 79 years old, this beast out of the sea event. But him getting his head wound is not going to happen until he's 80. Okay? But his current age is 79, and he's going to be still 79 on the day it happens. Okay? And you know, Elvis's dad, he died in the year 79. Okay? He died in the year 79. And you know, Elvis was born on 1/8, and which looks like the number 18. 18th prime is 61. You add 18 to the 61, you get 79. So there's another connection there. And the 22nd prime, which really doesn't have a connection, you know, technically I'm saying, but the 22nd prime is 79. And if you add 79 to 22, you get 101. And we're in the 26th year right now. The 26th prime is 101. And the 26th prime is loaded because look, it's got the 611 with a crowning portal. It's got the 20, which is 20 and 26. So it's 611, 2026 with a crown. You see that? Okay. I just have a little bit more. So far, is there any questions that you want to ask me? Ask it really quick, okay? Is there anything you want to ask? Ask it right now. Because I'm just taking a quick 1 minute break here. Yeah, what's going to happen is that when the beast rises out of the sea on June 11th, Elvis, okay, what happens is a portal is open. The bottomless pit is probably going to open. Elvis, the beast, comes out of the pit. Then he's going through the portal into August 4th when Trump gets his head wound. When Trump gets his head wound, he goes into a coma, and they say he's dead, but somehow he makes a miraculous recovery, okay, and he's in a coma, and Elvis enters him while his vessel is empty. Elvis enters him, just like Judas, just like Satan when he entered Judas. And Trump is the biggest Judas of all. What he did to the American people and to the Christians. He is the literal Judas to the Christians. And Trump, and then 4 days later on 8/8, he opens his eyes. But he doesn't come back, he doesn't come back to work. He just opens his eyes. So what's going to happen is Trump becomes the abomination of desolation. Get it? Abomination, because that's Obama's birthday, August 4th. So Trump becomes the abomination of desolation, which is basically a walking zombie. So when you see Trump walking around, it's really Elvis, okay, in him. Okay, he's going to use him as the vessel, But we needed 6/11 to get to the August 4th. If you watch my videos, you'll understand how 6/11 connects to August 4th. Okay. Did I explain that? Kind of okay. Did you guys understand that? Yeah, thanks. All right, here we go again. All right, so remember I told you Elvis the Antichrist equals 221, 86. 86 means to get rid of, terminate. So 86. So terminate 221. Elvis was 86 years old in 2021. 221 days in between Elvis's birth and 8/16. So look at this. Check this out. Where is my pen? There it is. Look at this. So the 221st prime, look at that, 1381. That reminds me of Revelation 13:18. Revelation 13:18 is the where it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him who hath understanding calculate the number of the beast, and his number is the number of a man, 600. 666. But look, anyway, the 221st prime number, 221. You add it to that number, 1381. You get 1602. Why is this important? The 1602, because remember I told you that anything to do with 16/2/216 has to do with August 4th and June 11th. Okay. Hold on. I was trying to show. It says June 11th right here. But anyway, so the identical twins, Elvis and Jesse, they were both born on 1/8, and they say the date backwards, 8181. That's 2/16/16/2. Okay. So that's August 4th, the 216th day, June 11th, the 162nd day. So that's why whenever you see 216, 16-2, that's what you're seeing. Okay, so back to this. So the 221, remember we're talking about? If you add it to the prime number 1381, you get 1602. See it? 162. And with the crowning portal. Okay? And that's why Elvis died in the 16th state, you know. And the 155th prime, and why am I showing that is because Elvis, in between Elvis's birthday and 611, is 907, 79. Remember, 7 months, 9 days, what I've been telling you, right? In between Elvis's birth and his death. But this is between Elvis's birth and 611, when Washington State gets struck. It's 1062. Look, it's the same numbers as the 221, which I've been showing you. It's got 1602, 1062. You think that's a coincidence? And it was 221 days in between Elvis's birth and his death. And in between Elvis's birth and 611 is 155 days. See? 221 days, 155 days. 1602, 1062. Come on. Come on, man. And how about this connection? This is the craziest one ever, which I've shown many times over the years. Watch. If this doesn't do it for you, then nothing will. You're just brain dead. So from the first of the year to 611 is 162 years. From the first of the year to from the first of the year to 611 is 162 days. From Elvis's birthday to 611 is 155 days when you add the day. 162 when you add the day from the first of the year, 155 days from Elvis's birthday to 611 when you add the day. So 162, 155, 155, 62, 155, 62. From Elvis's birth, the exact day he's born, to the exact day Elvis died is 15562 days when you add the day. See it? 155, 162. Are you understanding? Okay. Okay, you can't, like I said, if you want to be dumb, if you want to be dumb and not see that, like I said, you know, this is why the world is completely lost, because people don't have spiritual eyes and ears. All right, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. All right, let's keep going. So let me just show you this. So every date you pick has a twin number. Let me explain to you what I mean. See, from Elvis's birthday to 611, if you don't add the day, it's 154 days. When you add the day, it's 155 days. Now, on a leap year, from Elvis's birthday to 611 is 155 days. When you don't add the day, 156 days when you add the day. So there is a twin number here, because the 155 is the key. So both of the dates have 155 there, but one has the 154, one has the 156. So one of these has to be, they got to get rid of the twin. All right. And that's why, do you see this 156? The 156th prime number was 911. So they got rid of this one already when they did 9/11. They terminated it. Do you understand? Just like 9/11, and the next one's going to be 6/11. Do you see what I'm saying? So 156 was terminated out because they did it. You know, they did their ritual that day, right, for sacrifice. But anyway, and by the way, the letter O, which is a crown, equals 15. The letter O is the 15th letter, and the reduced number is 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. So the letter O even connects to the 911, okay? And the 156 prime is 911. Okay, anyway, so they get rid of this equation, okay, by getting rid of the 156. The 155 will be taken out. Check this out. The 155 and 156 was taken out right here. All right. This was taken out. Now you have only the 154, 155. Now, why does it need the 154, 155? Why does Elvis only need this and not that? Let me show you. So remember, it's 154 days when you don't add the day, 155 when you add the day. So what is the 154? The Antichrist equals 154. Okay? And you see this 154th prime is 887? Look at this. Because you know the devil needs 666, right? Look at this. 666 plus 221 is 887. You see that? The 221. That's how many days in between Elvis's birth and his death. 221 days. The 154th prime is 887. The Antichrist equals 154. 887, see? 666 with the 221 is 887. And if you think this is a coincidence, pay attention. Remember, I told you this was the equation that stayed. This one left, right? And just like I told you, they terminated one of them because the 156 prime is 911. So they got rid of this one, okay? And where was I going to show? And remember, I told you that that 70 through 78, because remember, it's 7 months, 9 days in between Elvis's birth and his death. 221 days is 7 months, 9 days. And you take out the 79 out of the decade of 70s is 666, remember? You add 70 through 78 and don't add the 79, you get 666, okay? So that's what I mean by they took out, they terminated, okay? An equation. Okay, anyway, so the 154 is the Antichrist number. And you'll see why he needs the 154, 155 in a moment. Okay? I just wanted to show you that 666 plus 221 is 887. And with the 154th prime is 887, the Antichrist equals 154, right? Now, why does Elvis need the 154, 155? Because look, 154, 155 is the first two consecutive numbers. They have to be consecutive. The first two consecutive numbers that equals this, 450 and 216, which makes 666. 154 written out, 155 written out is 450, 216 is 666. What is this right here? 45, Trump is the 45 president. Okay, I told you the 45 is the bridge. That's why the equal sign looks like a bridge. Bridge equals 45. Okay, and the O is a crowning portal. The 45 needs the portal. And then it gets to the 216. What is the 216? August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound. The head, the crowning portal, the head coming through the womb. 216 is August 4th, you get 666. So the 45th president, crowning portal, the head wound, 216, August 4th, 666, okay? Now, why does Elvis need 154, 155? What happens when you add Elvis Aaron Presley, see? You add Elvis Aaron Presley, you get 666. Because see, Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. And remember, these two numbers equal 450. 450 plus 216 is 666. Okay? You understand? 154, 155 to 611. You add Elvis Aaron Presley, you get 666. Okay? That's why it had to be this equation and not this one. Because when you add the 156, it throws it off balance. Okay? I think that's it. I mean, I could show a couple other things, but no. Listen, don't risk it. Just get out of Washington State for June 11th. Just take whatever's important that you need. Get out the day before, and just stay to one day at a hotel outside of Washington. Just stay away from the water and basically go east and south. Go east and then south. Just get away from the water and get away from whatever the coastlines are. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what else. Yeah, God bless everyone in the chat. And listen, like I said, I have more to show, but I think I'll just show this one last thing. Okay, look. Let me just show this one last thing here. So, you know that I was telling you about the 450, 216, 666, right? The 45, Trump's the 45th president, bridge equals 45. You got the crowning portal, the head, the face, the womb, the crown, the portal, whatever. 45, you go through the portal, the sacrifice, the head wound. 216, August 4th, the 216th day of the year. So you get that, you get 666, okay? And August 4th is the 216th day of the year, which is 6 times 6 times 6. So remember, I was telling you that the 1970s was the decade of the 666, right? You add up the 70 through 78, you get 666, right? And so 1970, let me show you why I'm showing you this, okay? Because remember, Elvis died in 1977. Watch this. So 1970 is 197 with a crown. The 45th prime is 190, is 19, and the fourth prime is 7. So 8-4 even connects to the 19 and 7. All right. So listen, there's so much I can show, but look. Oh, am I buffering? Am I buffering? Let me know if I'm buffering real quick. Am I buffering? No buffering? Oh, okay. Somebody was saying I was buffering. Anyway, so the 45th prime is 197. So what are we seeing here? We're seeing the 45 with a crown. 197 with a crown. So the 45 with the crown is 1970. So we're starting in 1970. Watch. Then we go to 1977. What do you see? So you're seeing 1977. So it's 45 and then a crown and then a 7 because the 45th prime is 197, okay? So 45, a crown, and 7. Is it just a coincidence that the 611th prime is 4507 and Elvis died in 77, okay? So 1977 is 4507. 1977 is 4507. The 611th prime is 4507. And what happened on 6/11/77? 6/11/77 is when Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. You see that? Do you understand what I'm showing you? 6/11/1977, Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. All right? And is it a coincidence that when you break it down, the 4 and 5 is like a 9. So you would have 907. And that's the 155th prime is 907. In between Elvis's birthday and 6/11 is 155 days. You see what I'm talking about? So I just connected every single thing. 6/11 is 4507. The 155th prime is 907. And that's how many days in between 6/11 and Elvis's birthday. You can't make this up. On 6/11/1977, Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown. Okay? Do you understand how impossible that is, what I'm showing you? Absolutely impossible. Yeah, and I have more to show, but I'm not going to do it. That's enough. All right, any last questions? I can stay on another 8 minutes here. So, what else you guys want to say? No, I think I'll leave this up for at least a day. Maybe I'll leave it up longer. Depends on how it's, how it's treated. If people think that it's too convoluted, then I'm gonna have to delete it. Because it is hard to really take it in, unless you watch the whole video. It's hard for them to get through the whole video, I think. Yeah. Like I said, it's not, doesn't have all the bells and whistles, you know what I mean? That people are looking for in videos. Anyway, hello to everyone in the chat. God bless all of you. And I'm going to, like I said, I'll leave this video up. But you guys got to make sure you thumb up the video, Yeah, if you have any questions, just save them for the next time. Yeah. Ask me that in a regular video where I'm not doing information video. Anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, I'll see you guys in 12 to 14 hours. 12 to 15 hours from now with another video. All right. Like I said, make sure you guys thumb up the video before you go, and make sure you guys comment under the comment section. That way I know whether to leave it up or not, If you guys aren't going to comment, then that means you didn't like the video. You know what I'm saying? So you guys got to be diligent, if you want, if you don't show your appreciation to the channel, that means that it's not good info. You know what I mean? What are you supposed to do? You guys have to, you know, help the algorithms. You know, you're not doing it for me. I could care less about that stuff. But we need to help people. You know. All right. So make sure you thumb up the video. And make sure you comment under the video. All right. End the video. Jesus is God.